he never won a single match in a jiu-jitsu tournament. So does that mean that he's not skillful in jiu-jitsu? Because again, I was that student before who always thought that results meant skill. I'm like, hey, here's the thing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Valor Training Center YouTube channel. I am Mark Entrata, 47 years old, first degree black belt under the legend himself, Cabrina Charles. And I'm the head of Alliance Jiu-Jitsu Manila, and I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for around 25 years. I've been really running a team and academy for over 15 years. To all the new subscribers, welcome. Because yes, the last video, the very controversial one, which I told people it was going to be controversial, so many comments. To the point that I removed the comments, or what do you call it? Yeah. So I disabled the comment section. Why? Because the comments were becoming very redundant. Because I get it. Didn't I just say in the video that you will either way, I'm talking about the promotions video. Anything, regardless how someone does it, they will get criticized. And true enough, yes. Now, I just want to remind people, especially if you're new to the channel, what this channel is all about. This channel really is for beginners, hobbyists, and older people. The goal of this channel is to give them a little bit more understanding of jiu-jitsu, the culture, the possible journey they will be in, or things that they will experience. Because these things, especially promotions, man, it causes some stress, causes some drama. Everything, the idea of this channel is I would discuss things, issues that make people kind of want to stop doing jiu-jitsu. Because again, that's why one of the things I talk about here a lot is safety, and really just having fun, really just minding your own business and stuff like that. Because these are some of the things that make people quit and stop jiu-jitsu. Now, in regards to the last video, when it comes to promotion, one of the more common comments is that, hey, jiu-jitsu promotions should be skill based. I get it. Yeah, I've been doing this for over 20 years. So I've been a student, I've been a coach, I've been eventually, someone who runs his own academy. So I get it when people say, oh, it should be skill based. Now, here's the thing I also learned throughout those years, that when people usually refer to as skill based, means that it's results from actual sparring or even tournaments. Why? Because if you say skill is based on knowledge, then I also made a video about that no, knowledge does not equal skill. Okay? Which you should watch. See, why don't results immediately determine jiu-jitsu skills alone? Why? Because there's the physical factor. In general, if the skills are not too far, even though someone's a little bit more skillful, let's say just by a few notches, but the other person is much bigger, much stronger, much more explosive, younger, and then let's say the other person's older, there's a big chance that when it comes to sparring results, it's always going to be more often than not, it's the younger, more athletic guy who will win, who will get the results of the win. That's one factor. Another factor, let's say you're both skilled. Let's say the level of knowledge is the same. And even another factor that's very hard to observe, or these are things that you will just see later on, the mental and the emotional factor. Even in sparring, it happens. It usually appears more commonly in tournaments. I remember I had this teammate before. We were both white belts. We started at the same time, and then he got his blue belt way ahead than me because he was very skillful in even in the academy. He was doing very well, even in sparring. He was catching even higher belts. Yeah, weirdly enough, he would like put the name of the person on the belt that he tapped, and like he would have like, oh, I tapped this guy like twice, like this. But anyway, that's just I guess that's his motivation, whatever. He started competing at blue belt, and I believe he even competed as a purple belt. Now, here's the thing: he never won a single match in a jiu-jitsu tournament. So does that mean that he's not skillful in jiu-jitsu because he wasn't getting the results? You know what? He, I believe, as one of the first black belts, the first, or sorry, he's like one of the second gen black belts in the Philippines. And in my opinion, he really deserved it. It's just that some people aren't really built for that competition, that emotional, mental stress it brings. Sometimes it's not for everyone. And here's the thing: sometimes even in sparring alone, some are like that because performing under pressure and stress is a different skill in itself. That almost has nothing to do with how good your jiu-jitsu is. Another case in point is this: when I'm talking about results, that it doesn't automatically determine jiu-jitsu skills. Absolute division, the absolute division. Isn't it mostly the heavier guys who win the absolute division? And I believe Cobrina and I think 2 years ago or last year, and Mayram Makine. I think Kennedy also. They're all featherweights. They're the lightest to ever win a major, to medal in a major event. I believe Cobrina did it at Pan Ams. Mayram, I think, did it in, I forgot. But then Kennedy did it in the Brasileiros, I think last year, yeah, or 2 years ago. Oh, I don't know, I forget. But it's mostly the heavier guys. Look at Mikey Musumeci. Mikey, who I believe is one of the most skillful, technical jiu-jitsu practitioners of all time. Never won the absolute division. Lost to much bigger guy. Am I making sense in regard? That's why, for me, later on, especially when it comes to promotions and stuff, if I was gonna make it skill based, it's not necessarily mean it doesn't necessarily involve a lot of results. Of course, it matters, but it's not one of the. It's not a deciding factor. Even my own personal training experiences. Of course, I have a lot of friends from other teams, other countries who are also black belts. A lot of them are super accomplished, are amazing, skillful. They have results to prove it. But then when we roll, because I'm quite big for a Filipino, I'm 5'11". Okay? And some of these black belts were definitely way more skillful than me. Much, much better for more beautiful jiu-jitsu. But then, some of them are much smaller than me, much lighter than me. Of course, inspiring. And, we don't go hard. We at a very good pace. Not even competition pace. Of course, there would be times I would do very well against them. And a few times already, a newer student of mine or would go, "Hey, prof." Yeah, like some of us are called professors. Um, like, "Oh, you did so well again. Oh, hey, I showed you." I'm like, "Hey, relax, man. Cool." Because again, I was that student before who always thought that results meant skill. I'm like, "Hey, here's the thing. That dude weighs 50 pounds light. That dude's 50 pounds lighter than me. That dude's like literally just not even. So yeah, I have the physical advantages. And most importantly, we weren't going competition pace. Another analogy that I like to use from, again, from my own personal experience, because I also play guitar. I used to perform. If you're a musician, you're probably gonna get this even better. When you do, when you practice a technique, do repetitions. Let's just stick to an arm lock. I know the ecological guys are gonna be, oh man, gross techniques. But anyway, regular jujitsu people. Let's say doing an arm lock, no, from the close guard. So that's your repetition. In music, that's me doing a solo practice. Let's say I'm learning a song. Okay, no, I'm by myself. I'm by myself, practicing with a backing track. Okay, okay. So that's pretty much a repetition, solo practice. Now, music, then you have band practice. Band practice, I would equate to sparring. Because now you're going to see, okay, can I apply the arm lock on my partner during this sparring? Or let's say positional sparring. You will already see a drop, in general, a drop when it comes to your performance. For me in guitar, like, there were songs that, man, I could play flawlessly with the backing track. But then the moment I jam it with the band, it's like I could just play at 90% as it should be played. That's still not bad, yeah. But then let's take it to the next level. Competing in jiu-jitsu is like performing on stage in front of thousands of people. I've been there before. My God, over 1,000 people. Okay, I'm just kidding. No, I think the most I performed to was like 200 people. Yeah. But it's still the same. I was like competing. You will see another drop in your your skill, your perform, because again, now it's different. Now people are watching. Now emotions, anxiety, or nerves, it really affects your performance, and it's the same in same with the guy I was telling you about. He's very good. Even so, he's pretty much good until band practice. But then when it comes to performing, some of us really, you know, level down. It is what it is. It maybe has something to do with our psychology, with our nervous. I'm not even here to pretend I know what's really happening in a scientific. That's why me, personally, I love learning jujitsu from smaller people and older people. Why? Because I know that their success in jujitsu has a lot to do with their techniques, the details that they have, the timing that they have, because they don't have the physicality to with help them get results in sparring. Because jujitsu ultimately is an individual sport. Doesn't matter how technical you are. If there's one thing that's kind of lagging in your, again, you can be as technical as you want. You can even be physically strong, but m- most sometimes it's the emotional part, it's the mental part that you need to improve on. Then it is what it is. You will not, you will still have difficulty getting the results that you want if you do not fix those things. That's why for me, I personally do not judge someone's skill based on the results in sparring or even in competition. Because, especially in competition, I tell people the one who wins the competition isn't the most skilled in jiu-jitsu, isn't the one who's more knowledgeable. It's the one who prepared the best. I hope I made sense, my friends. Ultimately, here's what I want, especially if you're beginner, whatever. And I don't know how your team does promotions, etc., etc., whether it's skill based, knowledge based, results based, or attendance based. I just want you to stay safe, have fun as much as you can, and just focus on your own journey, regardless. Because it doesn't mean, let's say, you're losing in sparring. that the other guy is just much better than you in jiu-jitsu. It maybe and maybe not. So just keep improving. Maybe you need to improve your emotional strength because you get carried away too much with outside factors. You get bothered by it and it affects your sparring. Could be. Only you can answer this one. So, my friends, as usual, just stay safe. Let's have fun. I'm here to really help you just enjoy your jiu-jitsu journey and not mind the outside noise that could affect your happiness when it comes to training. With that, if you haven't yet, my friends, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and like the video too. Make a comment, a good one, a nice one, if you can. And I'll see you guys on the next video. But before, yeah, remember again, stay safe. Let's have fun. So what? We can train jiu-jitsu until we are 99. Until the next video, my friends. Thank you for watching.